If you're familiar with Marvel at all, specifically the mutant-powered team known as the X-Men, then you know about the very first laser-eyed X-Man, Cyclops. Cyclops, real name Scott Summers, originally discovered his powers in his formative high school years, but was unable to control them. After falling into a life of crime, Scott was saved by the intervention of Charles Xavier, who trained Scott to lead his team of superpowered heroes. It was during this time that Scott would fall in love with his telepathic teammate, Jean Grey. After the appearance of Wolverine, things would become more complicated, with Jean, Scott, and Logan forming their own sort of superpowered love triangle at different times. However, the friction this caused between teammates paled in comparison to what Scott does next. After Jean dies at the hands of the Phoenix Force, Scott winds up marrying her clone, Madeline Pryor. Pryor was created by the villain Mr. Sinister, with the aid of DNA spliced from Jean's body. Madeline and Scott had a tumultuous relationship, plagued by Scott's inability to love Madeline for anything beyond her resemblance to his former lover. When Jean is discovered to be alive, Scott abandons Madeline and their child in order to be reunited with her. But it still gets worse from there. Scott finds himself on the wrong side of the fight again when he clashes with Wolverine, this time about something other than Jean Grey. With the next generation of mutants in need of guidance, Scott feels the best way to prepare them is to train them in a highly combative lifestyle, essentially child soldiers. Wolverine strongly objects to this ideology, citing the same philosophy that Xavier embraced of avoiding a fight until absolutely necessary. The two clash over the issue, with the Krakoa Council ultimately intervening to side with Wolverine. But it still gets even worse. In the heated 2012 crossover event, Avengers vs. X-Men, Cyclops commits the ultimate act of betrayal. During the heated climax, he kills his mentor and father figure, Charles Xavier, in cold blood. Although Scott was possessed by the Phoenix Force at that time, it's hard not to hold him responsible for such heinous actions. Let us know what you think in the comments. Is Scott Summers the worst of the X-Men, or was he guided by misunderstood motivations? Hit the like button, smash the notifications tab, and don't forget to leave your suggestions for other characters, deep dives, and more. Until next time, Excelsior!